The Rockets turned the ball over a season-low 8 times, and Dwight Howard led the way with 32 points and 17 rebounds. But it wasn't enough as Houston fell in Portland last night, 111-104.
We made the game slow down ourselves. We didn't push the pace like we needed to. And they were very comfortable in their offense. We didn't get into them and pressure on the defense a lot. They had a lot of easy attempts at the basket. We just got to do a better job of making teams play our style of basketball.
The Rockets' road trip continues tonight in Oakland against Steph Curry and the Warriors. The Hall of Famer Calvin Murphy joins me to preview Houston and Golden State right now on Rockets Pregame Live, presented by Toyota. You're looking at Oracle Arena in the Bay Area. That's in Oakland, California, and that's where the Houston Rockets are getting set to take on the Golden State Warriors. At least we hope they are. We understand the Rockets got stuck in traffic today. They stayed in San Francisco, and it took them a long time to get to the arena. We understand that they have arrived. That's good news. Looking forward to the game tonight right here on CSN. Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Dolman alongside the Hall of Famer Calvin Murphy. Something reminds me of back home at Nebraska right now. Oh, go Big Red.
Not Nebraska.
Oh, no?
I don't have any brothers in Nebraska that wear red.
They do. Anyway, all right. After a 3-day layoff, the Rockets are playing their second game in 2 consecutive days. That's not a bad thing. Houston is 4-1 in Game 2 of back-to-back scheduling, so that's not bad. Golden State last played on Wednesday, came from 18 down to beat Dallas 95-93. These two teams met last week in Houston. The Rockets won that one 105-83. Murph, though, let's start with last night's game in Portland. The Rockets lost. But in your mind, all was not lost because you saw some good things. What was it?
I did. First of all, and I'm still buzzing in my head about Dwight Howard. Before Dwight even came to Houston, I used to watch a lot of his play. But last night I saw a totally different individual. I saw someone that reminded me a little bit of Elijah Wan's footwork. We talked about that. Number two, the fact that he was so aggressive. There was nothing they could do with him at all last night. There were some mishaps with teammates getting in his way, or he'd have had that 32-20 that we had expected him to get once he got rolling. Then when you start looking at the way the Rockets hung in there through most of the game, and there was that one sport that cost the Rockets, I think, the game. But it wasn't a situation where the players themselves caused their demise last night.
It had a playoff atmosphere in early December when Houston met Portland last night. So perhaps a precursor of things to come, although we would certainly like to see Houston win those games. It's time now for our injury report, brought to you by Ace Brand Sports Medicine Products. There's Chandler Parsons. He's going to play tonight, despite the fact that he is still dealing with the lingering back problems he has had. He's been really dealing with that for the past month, and it was noticeable last night. He was just 6 of 18 from the floor last night against Portland. But Chandler Parsons will give it a go, and as you know, the Rockets sorely need him on the court, especially against a team like Golden State. All right, let's bring in our broadcast team of Bill Worrell and Matt Bullard from the Bay Area. And gentlemen, let the record show that December is when Dwight Howard took over the Rockets. The last 5 games of November, he averaged 12 points and 9 rebounds, took just 41 shots from the floor. The first 5 games of December, he's at 20 and 17 and is 36 of 65. It can't all be about the matchup, so what's the reason for the more prominent presence and production?
Great job. Well, he's just playing very good basketball. He's being very aggressive. He's going after everything.
Yeah, I think Dwight is playing at maybe his peak level. Remember back about 3-4 years ago when he was playing with the Orlando Magic? They went to the finals. He's playing at that same level, in my opinion. You see what he did last night in Portland? Another monster game, 32 and 17. He's had a double-double before halftime in his last 3 straight games. So last night when it was Superman versus Robin, Superman was winning. Really a big game for Dwight, and rebounding the basketball, he's been huge. He's got 4 straight games of 17 or more rebounds, playing above the rim, really playing at the best level we've seen him play in years.
It's not Superman and Robin, it's Batman and Robin.
Yeah, but Dwight's Superman, and that was Robin he was playing against.
Both of y'all got
Let's go to Murph.
I thought that was pretty good.
I did. That was Bill. Quick question. generation. Let's get away from Batman, Robin, Superwoman, and the rest of them.
Robin Red. Yeah.
I knew that was coming. Hey, let's talk about, if we can, for a moment, the great job that the Rockets did on Klay Thompson last game. The importance of him tonight. Do the Rockets have to hold him down again in order for the Rockets to win?
Yeah, I think so, Murph. Actually, he shoots better than Steph Curry does in this building. He's a home court type of player. He plays a lot better here than he does on the road.
Yeah, he's shooting over 50% from the three-point line in this building. The Splash Brothers with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, they love playing in front of these fans here. The energy that these fans bring, they really feed off that. So you're right, Murph. The Rockets have got to really do a good job on Klay Thompson. Steph Curry has been terrific, too, so I don't know if you can hold him down at all. But if you can really limit Klay Thompson's points, that'll help.
Also coming over here on the bus, fellas, and this just happened a few moments ago, Terrence Jones may or may not play. We don't know for sure. He had an injured thumb. He had an x-ray on it last night after the game, and it was negative, but he says it's awfully sore. So Kelvin Sampson was telling us thumbs up or thumbs down. Well, we don't know.
Yeah, and the thing about Terrence Jones was he was guarding LaMarcus Aldridge last night, and he didn't know if he was coming or going. LaMarcus Aldridge had 31 points and 25 rebounds, so who knows?
He was going.
All right, guys, thank you so much. I'm glad you were able to pick Calvin out of the background. He kind of blends in just with that slight red outfit that he has on tonight. So we will see you in just a few moments for the tip-off at Golden State.
Beat it.
Time for us to take a timeout. I did like the Superman Robin thing, by the way. Maybe that was generational. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to take a look at how the Rockets fared against Golden State the last time around, and Omri Casspi is going to see and tell us if they can do it again.
Rockets Pregame Live is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Let's go places.
Toyotathon, how can I help?
Hey, Jan. I love the Tundra I got last year. I'm here to get the new one.
The new redesign is pretty tough.
Tundra's the toughest truck I've ever had. My son's getting my old one.
Sweet. Am I getting the boat, too?
Right now during Toyotathon, get 1.9 APR for 72 months plus $2,000 cash on a new 2014 Tundra Crewmax Texas Edition for a total savings over $5,000. Toyota, let's go places.
Would you look at this?
That's the U-verse. She's recording 4 shows at the same time.
In our day, if Mom was recording shows, there was no DVR to save your bacon.
Exactly. Miss an episode of Scooby-Doo? Suddenly he's got a cousin.
Where did he come from?
You have no idea.
The narrative is completely thrown off.
The show just doesn't make sense.
No, it does not.
Get U-verse TV for $19 a month for 2 years with qualifying bundles. Rethink possible.
Once upon a time, an insurance clerk stumbled upon a cottage. No one was at home. But on the kitchen table sat 3 insurance policies. The first had lots of coverage. The second, only a little. But the third was
just right.
Hi. Yeah, we love visitors. That's why we moved to a secluded house in the middle of the wilderness.
just the right coverage at just the right price. Coverage Checker from Progressive.
The last time we heard from Omri Casspi, he was talking about his trip to Washington, D.C. and paid a visit to the White House. Tonight, he's paying a visit to Oracle Arena. The Rockets are taking on the Golden State Warriors. Houston, by the way, with its bench, only went 8 deep last night at Portland. Perhaps in the second game of a back-to-back, Omri Casspi and a few more guys off that bench will see some action against the Warriors. Let's talk with Bart Ennis, who is traveling with the Rockets. He's out in the Bay Area. And, Bart, we saw these two teams play just a week ago. The Rockets turned in one of their best games of the season and forced the Warriors into their worst. What's the players' perspective on what they did well last week, and how are they going to do it again?
Well, Bill, the players' perspective is if you look at that game, the way they defended, the way they put so much effort into defending this team, they were very active with their hands in the passing lanes. They came away with 9 block shots, 14 steals in that game, held Golden State to just 37 first-half points. It was all about the defense, and then in the second half, they started turning that defense into offense, and they started playing at the pace that they like. That's something that they were really unable to do in Portland last night in the second half, was to play at that pace. That's one of the nice things about having Jeremy Lin back coming off that bench, just because he provides that pace. And, you know, speaking of Lin and the bench unit, they really need to give a better effort tonight than they saw last night. A couple of guys, Francisco Garcia, Omri Caspi, have been struggling with their outside shots. They need to play a much bigger and better role tonight. It helps that they just saw Golden State a week ago because their personnel and their schemes are fresh in their mind. And I talked to Omri Caspi about that today.
We obviously know them because we played them like a few days ago, and one of the main things we've done good last game we played them was that we came out aggressive. We took them out of their game, and we played, you know, our game, and, you know, we're up 25 points, and that's a good team, especially at home. They play with a lot of confidence. Stefan Curry is obviously a phenomenal scorer, so we're going to have to do the same tonight.
You guys did some really good things against them. You led by 24 at the half. Great defense all night long. 9 block shots, 14 steals. I think you had a hand in a couple of those. That's the kind of defense it's going to take to win on the road here, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, and we'll have to go back to who we are, you know, and we have a few lapses defensively last night, and go back at it again tonight.
The fact that you guys played well, you played hard in Portland. Shots didn't fall. You guys missed some threes, you missed some layups at the basket. And you can't win a game against Portland like that, but you played hard. Does that make that kind of game easier to just forget it and move on than one where you know you didn't play well?
To a certain degree, you know, but, you know, at the same time, it's a national TV game. You want to win this game, and you know, coach is not with us, and we want to win it for him. So, you know, it was a tough night of sleep, but we're going to have to regroup and play tonight.
Well, tonight's game is important because you win tonight. You got the tiebreaker against Golden State. There is that element tonight to tonight's game.
Absolutely, and we know it, and we getting ready to go.
And the thing is, Bill, if Terrence Jones can't go tonight, now Omri Caspi becomes a huge part of what the Rockets need to get done. Donatas Motiejunas also will see a lot of time if Terrence Jones can't go, because the Rockets bench, they're already down 2 big men. They can't afford to lose T. Jones also. So whoever steps in and is playing in the front court next to Dwight Howard, they need to provide some rebounding and get outlet passes and get the offense moving. Guys, back to you.
Okay, Bart, thanks a lot. We will see you in just a little bit at game time. It's time now for our Comcast Business Edge. Sports at the speed of business, and we are going to preview the matchup at the power forward position between Terrence Jones, who's dealing with a sore thumb, and David Lee. Now, Jones has the edge in field goal percentage and in blocks. Lee has the edge in points and rebounds. When they played just a week ago, TJ had 16 points, 10 boards, 3 block shots, and 3 steals. Lee was limited to just 11 points and 3 boards in 22 minutes. So, Murph, who has the edge in this interesting matchup tonight?
Well, I like to think that if Terrence can play tonight, any significant minutes, I like to think he has the edge, but he cannot allow David Lee to get him close to that basket and use his size against him. David Lee is quite strong with, you know, with the frame of his body, and you've got to allow him to catch the ball out 2 more steps so that he can't back you, and that's what Terrence has got to be concerned about tonight.
It could also be a 4-by committee for the Rockets if Terrence Jones can't go, or given the 31-minute effort, you might see a lot of Donatas Motiejunas. He did not play last night against Portland, and also Omri Caspi, whom we talked about earlier. Let's shift our attention to the backcourt. And, of course, when you talk about the Golden State Warriors, you talk about Steph Curry. Many people are saying that he is one of the all-time great shooters in NBA history. Would you begrudgingly agree with that?
No, I agree with that. His father was one of the best shooters to ever play in the NBA also, so that's a family thing. Now, he's as far as pure shooters go in today's game, he is that. The one thing that he's got going for himself, and I'm not taking anything away from his ability, but they won't let you put your hands on him, so he's a free stroker. So therefore, that's why he shoots the ball so well. A person like Steph, they've got to allow you to be aggressive with him and make him be conscious of you in his face at all times.
When you call him a pure shooter as opposed to just a shooter, an average Joe shooter, what's the difference? What makes somebody a pure shooter?
Number one, he can shoot the ball with defense in his face. He has a variety of shots based on how the defense plays them, and he's consistent. You know what you're going to get from him every night. In the NBA, you have more scorers than you have shooters, but he's one of those that is a pure shooter.
And as we've learned on Shooting 101 on this show, it's legs, body, follow through, stroke. Okay, all right. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
He's learned. No. Same thing. Same thing. We're playing semantics here. It's the same thing.
Okay.
Same thing.
Both would be accepted on the test. All right, Patrick Beverley has proven to be a real pest to some of the best guards in the NBA in his just about 1 year in the league now. And you and I had this conversation last night. It seems as though the officials have started to understand how he plays the game, how hard he plays the game, and he's able to maybe get away with a little bit more aggression than some other guards might ordinarily not get away with.
Well, we just used the word that it signifies what he does. He's consistent. The official sees the same game all the time, so they're accustomed to his game. If you play defense periodically, you're not going to get any calls. But if they see what you do all the time, they allow you to be you.
And he had 11 rebounds, a career high last night at Portland, and turned in one of the best defensive performances of his career because Damian Lillard, the reigning Rookie of the Year in the NBA, had one of the worst games of his career last night against Patrick Beverley, so much so that he got a little frustrated there at the end of the game and almost got a technical. All right, time for us to take a timeout here on Rockets Pregame Live. Coming up, we're going to hear from Kelvin Sampson, and maybe we'll have an update on the latest Terrence Jones information.
Toyotathon, how can I help?
Hey, Jan. I love the Tundra I got last year. I'm here to get the new one.
The new redesign is pretty tough.
Tundra's the toughest truck I've ever had. My son's getting my old one.
Sweet. Am I getting the boat, too?
Right now during Toyotathon, get 1.9 APR for 72 months plus $2,000 cash on a new 2014 Tundra Crewmax Texas Edition for a total savings over $5,000. Toyota, let's go places.
The body is incredibly powerful. It's nimble and fluid. But sometimes we push it too far. That's when you need the strength of Memorial Hermann and our body of affiliated orthopedic specialists. With our Iron Man Sports Medicine Institute, they not only get your body back to where it was, they get it to go further. It's what makes us more than just hospitals. We are a body of experts. Memorial Hermann, advancing health.
If every home changes one of these for one of these, we'd save enough power to light up New York City for a year. Broadway, Wall Street, Central Park. Just one light bulb. You don't have to do a lot to do a lot.
Relive the excitement, relive the journey as we take a look back at the exciting fall Cougar season as we check out the football team's bowl return, women's soccer, cross country, and more. Houston Cougar 2013 Fall Sports Recap, Thursday at 7:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Rockets All Access, the half-hour show that lets you see your Houston basketball team in a different light. More players, more features, more Rockets. Rockets All Access, Wednesdays at 10:30 p.m. on Comcast Sportsnet.
Andrew Bogut will be facing a red-hot Dwight Howard. He's been dynamite his last 5 games. Bogut, meanwhile, does not give Golden State all that much production offensively. They probably don't need it because they have Thompson and Curry in the backcourt, but he only had 6 points. In fact, he hasn't been in double figures in scoring in the last 4 games against Golden State, and he only had 4 points and 5 boards against the Rockets last week. Time now to hear about the Rockets from interim head coach Kelvin Sampson.
Yeah, when we've played well, we've married both ends, offense and defense. But in this building, these guys are obviously a lot different. Klay Thompson and Steph, Lee, Harrison Barnes, especially. Those guys are lethal in this building. So, but we got to score too. I mean, we've got to make shots. We can talk about defense and rebounding. Obviously, that's critical. But that scoreboard keeps track of points. We've got to make baskets tonight.
That was the issue last night. Was you had open looks, had some layups, and they missed them. And sometimes shots just don't go in.
Yeah, you look back at the game with 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go. It's a 97-95 game, and we felt like obviously we didn't feel like we had played well, but you know, we'd done some good enough things to stay in the game, but just didn't make enough shots at the end, and Portland did. But it's not, there's nothing wrong with losing at Portland, but we would like to play a little bit better down the stretch.
You saw a rare talent last night in Aldridge. You're going to see another one tonight in Curry. Can you talk a little bit about what makes him so special?
The thing that I've always been most impressed with him was his ability to make other players better. You know, everybody talks about his shot making. He's a great shooter, but he's also a shot maker. But he's an excellent passer. You know, the only two guys that I've seen that can make left-handed passes from one slot to the opposite corner on the line is he and Nash. I mean, they're both prolific with their skill set. So, you know, he's just an elite guard. And, guys like Thompson and Barnes, Harrison, David Lee, those guys really benefit from having him out there.
That's time for our shot of the game, Tuaka's shot of the game. Going to take a look back at last night's loss at Portland, but this was a pretty nifty play in the second quarter. Dwight Howard made the spin move past Robin Lopez, to which Calvin Murphy gave Dwight Howard some pretty high praise because you compared him, as you did earlier, or at least that move, to Hakeem Olajuwon.
I did. Well, you can see where Hakeem has been working with him because that was Hakeem's move for many years.
How much can a guy like a Dwight Howard, and how does a guy like Dwight Howard respond when he's being tutored by one of the greats of the game?
Well, you know, it's interesting that people got to understand you cannot duplicate an Olajuwon. He can show you the basics, and I think this is where Howard is starting to show that he's been working with him. His basics are getting better. His basic footwork. I got excited last night when I saw 3 or 4 of those moves down there because I watched that in Hakeem for years. Now, he's not Hakeem, obviously, but you can see some semblance of him working with him. Now, if he keeps working on that type of part of his game, he's just going to get better and better offensively.
I asked this of Bill and Bull a moment ago. What is the reason for the dramatic increase in presence and production for Dwight Howard from the last 5 games of November when he was averaging 12 points and 9 rebounds, and he only took 41 shots in the last 5 games of November? Since the turn of the calendar, he's at 21 and 17. He's 36 of 45 from the floor. What's the difference, and how has this become Dwight Howard's?
Well, I said this last night. Number one, there was a lot of rhetoric being said about his play, about, you know, him not wanting to take over the game like a real superstar. And I think a lot had to do with his pride. His pride was hurt. He keeps that smile on his face, but he's a man, and his man pride took over. And the fact of the matter is that I think his teammates are saying to him, you know, we need a little more from you to make this thing work, because he's asking for the ball for the first time in a long time.
Well, Robin Lopez is going to have nightmares about Dwight Howard after what he did to him last night, although Lopez's team did get the victory. It's time for us to take a quick time out here on Rockets Pregame Live. When we come back, we'll have Murph's keys to the game, and there's a guy that's going to be motivated tonight. Jeremy Lin, he played last night, 15 minutes, his first game back after missing 6. Tonight, he's playing back at home.
It's Customer Appreciation Month at Subway. We're saying thanks with 2 of your favorite 6-inch subs, the 6-inch cold cut combo or the 6-inch meatball marinara. Built fresh from the bread up for just $2 each, all December long. Subway, eat fresh.
How do I win? I prepare. I train.
I do what I must.
To be at my best.
Protect.
Compete. Win.
Ace Brand Sports Medicine products provide the support and protection you need to be at the top of your game. Protect, compete, win.
Hey, Aunt Carolyn. Does Uncle Bill have a second?
Honey, do you have a second for Kevin?
Is it about switching to Comcast Business again?
Sweetie, what's this about?
Switching to Comcast Business again?
Yes, that's what this is about.
Is it still up to 5 times faster than DSL?
I believe so.
Tell him I'm busy downloading.
He's busy downloading.
Exactly.
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 Switch to Comcast Business Internet today. Then get voice and TV for just $34.90 more a month.
Welcome to Toyotathon. How can I help?
Hey, Jan. I love the Tundra I got last year. I'm here to get the new one.
The new redesign is pretty tough.
Tundra's the toughest truck I've ever had. My son's getting my old one.
Sweet. Am I getting the boat, too?
Right now during Toyotathon, get 1.9 APR for 72 months plus 2,000 cash on a new 2014 Tundra Crewmax Texas Edition for a total savings over $5,000. Toyota, let's go places.
December is Customer Appreciation Month at Subway. We're saying thanks with 2 of your favorite 6-inch subs, the 6-inch cold cut combo or the 6-inch meatball marinara, built fresh from the bread up for just $2 each, all December long. Subway, eat fresh.
Rockets Pregame Live is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Let's go places.
Breaking news on the Calvin Murphy Show. Terrence Jones is going to give it a go. He will be in the starting lineup tonight for the Houston Rockets, averaging 10 points and 6 boards per game. He had 10 points and 2 boards last night in 29 minutes of action against the Portland Trail Blazers. And, of course, he got a couple of lessons learned because, well, he faced LaMarcus Aldridge. Time now for Calvin's Keys to the Game, and they're brought to you by Toyota. Mr. Murphy?
Well, the one thing you're going to have to do is recognize the fact that Curry's the man you got to stop. And throw in Thompson also, Clay, but he's the man you got to pressure. You got to make him work to score. He's going to score, but at least make him sweat to get ready for war. What the Rockets did to Golden State in Houston, I think that the coach is going to use that as a rallying point. So you've got to get ready for that. And let's get some weak side defense tonight. The one thing the Golden State Warriors like to do, they like to make reverse layups. Well, if you cut off that baseline, they got to face Howard. They can't score their way underneath.
What do you make of the Rockets' success in Game 2 of back-to-backs, being 4-1 on the year and averaging 112 points per game?
Concentration. Everybody's focused because you're supposed to lose. So you lose, you're all focused in one direction, and things work out.
Same could be said of last year's performances by the Rockets at Golden State. They won both times they played over there. See if they can do it again tonight. The Rockets, by the way, have won 18 of the last 21 meetings against the Warriors. For Calvin Murphy, I'm Bill Dolman. We'll see you at the half.